66.
Hello and welcome.
Hello.
Ignore that introduction. And welcome to our first video on Route 66. Very soon we'll be driving Route 66 from Chicago all the way to
LA.
Santa Monica. 2,448 miles.
That is, and you'll be driving it because I'm not going to be driving in America.
Driving all the way. So what we're going to do in this video is the pre-trip planning stage. And already we've learned such a lot. We've learned basically it's not as easy as putting it into Google Maps.
We've done a lot of road trips.
Yeah.
We've driven all the way around Iceland.
Yeah.
We've driven in Italy. We've driven quite a few places.
But this route is the most complicated to organise. Basically, because Route 66 doesn't exist. It was decommissioned in
1985.
85, yeah. So you have to find out where the road was. And there's different variations, isn't it? It changed. It was the history. It started in the 20s, then became famous in the 30s after the Dust Bowl, when the droughts and the high winds hit the prairies, and all the farmers drove Route 66 to make their fortune in California, and that's where the John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath is.
That's right.
That's what's that about, yeah. Anyway, then after the war, it became famous with the song, didn't it? Route 66, and there was more holiday traffic then.
It goes to all the small towns in America.
Is it Grapes of Wrath where they termed it? They coined the phrase the Mother Road.
That's correct.
So that's the
You've been doing your research.
Brief history of it. Anyway, to us, the Europeans, and other people around the world, it's the iconic US drive, isn't it?
It is.
Everything you've seen.
Small
towns, the diners.
The quirky museums.
Yeah. And recently, it's Cars.
Cars,
yeah,
the animated film.
The animated film Cars is sort of, and they based that on actual places and people.
So Radiator Springs is Peach Springs, is that correct?
So
I don't think you'll see an animated car.
I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, they have got cars there, done up like cars.
Yeah, but they're not really talking.
Anyway, should we make a start? Because people want information.
Okay, information. Okay.
That's all. Anyway, this is from Mel's post. She's already got a post on her blog.
The Diary of a Jewelry Lover.
Yeah, what we're doing first. Oh, first thing is the car. We're going in a few months, and it's going to be peak summertime, isn't it? So the idea of getting a convertible, going through the desert, isn't really. It sounds nice, but it's going to be hot.
And also, if you're travelling for 3 weeks, you probably have a bit of luggage.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of space in those convertible boots.
And they can be quite expensive, especially on one-way rentals. Yeah. We're looking at all the rental companies, and you are going to pay for the one-way rental.
And it's coming up at probably about £400-500 extra on top of your rental car for a one-way drop-off. So starting in Chicago, dropping off in LA. And apparently it's slightly cheaper the other way around, but it's still like you got that big fee. And be careful
with some of the rental companies, because some sound cheap, and you read their reviews, and what they do, they try to add extra charges and say there's something wrong with the car. So on this route, we've gone with Avis, because they were the prices change like airlines. You go 1 week and they're showing a price, you go a week later showing a different price. But I checked with them because they had online support, and I said, is the price showing the price I'm going to pay? And they said yes. And also, when I was looking at other companies at the airport in Chicago, they had like a 3-hour delay waiting to pick up a car on some of these cheaper places. So
were they cheaper though? They weren't cheaper at the end.
In the end, they weren't that much cheaper in any case. They had additional costs. And also, I'm a member of the privilege thing, whatever, so you've got a special window.
Yeah, so sign up to the car rental company's sort of like member package email, and you'll get some benefits of that. Probably like slightly better car, or bypass the queues or something like that. Is that what you get?
Yeah. 24 days we're going to be away. That includes the fly in and fly out day. So we've basically got 22 full days. They
say you can do Route 66 in about 2 weeks from start to finish, but it doesn't really allow you time to explore the towns you're in that much, and also if you want any detours, because there's lots of places along the way, such as the Grand Canyon, Las Vegas. We're going to Branson, Missouri, that you can stop off. Not technically on Route 66, but quite close to Route 66.
Don't try and do everything.
You're never going to see it all.
Yeah, I've heard people that have done it for like 10 or 15 times, they still haven't seen everything, so just enjoy the trip. That leads us on to what experienced travellers say. Don't forget, Route 66 is the trip. Don't rush to get somewhere else. Enjoy just being on the road itself.
And enjoy the little towns, the small town American towns with the diners, the little quirky museums, the massive statues of muffler men and rocking chairs and bizarre American things like that.
Yeah, if you want to see some good, like on YouTube, there's some YouTubers that have done the whole thing. There's Nomadic Fanatic, who did 66 days to do the whole Route 66. He's like a camper van RV person. There's Adam the Woo, who likes off-beat sort of rundown things. And then obviously on TV is Billy Connolly.
Connolly did a really
4-episode Route 66 trip, so that's pretty good. So
and also I hear that at the moment the hairy bikers.
I'm not a fan of those.
I know you're not a fan of the hairy bikers, but
one's okay. The other short one.
Okay, well, they're probably not a fan of yours either, Marcus. But they're there at the moment, and they're doing a series on Route 66, probably focusing on the food. I would think.
That's another thing I've heard as well. Don't expect to lose any weight.
So
there's a lot of food.
It's American diners.
There's a lot of food.
It's going to be big steaks, burgers. Anyway, there we are.
Yeah, so
I started planning it, and I thought, as I'm not actually driving it, maybe it's better to get Marcus on board with this planning. I'm normally a very thorough planner, but it sounded really complicated. So I had a rough idea of where we're going to go. I've read a lot of blogs online, looked at YouTube, and I knew sort of the towns and the cities we wanted to go to. But I had to get Marcus on board to plan the actual driving. So there's some certain books that we recommend. This one is called the Easy
66 Guide for Travellers by Jerry McClanahan.
Okay.
So
this is the first book we had, but it's still quite complicated. So we decided to get the Route 66, Here It Is map series by the same author, and also
the maps of Route 66 through the 8 states. There's one for each state.
And you found that much better, didn't you?
Yeah, and the maps themselves aren't brilliant, but what's good is this driving part down the side. And like I said, there's different variations of Route 66 depending on the year, depending on what you're driving. There's still some like gravel paths and things like that, and some areas not suitable for camper vans. So
you found those very helpful, didn't you?
Apparently, I was listening to somebody else on a podcast, just a guest of a traveller, and they said this book looks really complex, but it makes more sense when you're actually on the route, when you're driving, and that's why he did it on with this binding, because apparently it's easier to do when you're driving. Yeah, another tip, if you are doing this trip, it's easier with a navigator.
That's me.
Yeah, oh, God help us.
So I'm going to be shouted at.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of this is the fact that you're planning each different section on Google Maps, downloading that Google Maps section, aren't you?
Yeah, Google Maps, even though we said Google Maps isn't, Route 66 isn't on Google Maps, parts are marked, and also Google Maps is useful for using Street View. So if you're looking at the area and you don't really know what they mean, just, you can actually see it. But one of the things of Route 66 is to get lost where you're on it. But obviously,
don't worry, we will.
The Google Maps will be useful when you're going through Chicago or going through Oklahoma City. When it looks busier, that'll be useful. But when you're out in the countryside and going between towns, you can just, take it.
We'll see how it works in practically.
Like we mentioned earlier, we are going to be doing mini vlogs from the road. Also, another book you bought.
Yeah, I thought this one's quite good. It's quite small, but it's the Moon Guide. This was one of the most up-to-date, if not the most up-to-date book on Route 66 I found. Road Trip USA, Route 66, okay? I think it cost about just under £10. It's not huge, but it was really good to read about what to do in each place, in each city. It tells you, like, the Chicago bit's really good.
Yeah, that's better for attractions.
It's better for an overview and attractions and perhaps where to stay and where to eat. Also, I found some groups on Facebook very good. I think there's a historic Route 66 group that's very good. Route 66 Travelers is very good. All those people, all those groups are really good because they've got businesses on Route 66 in the area as well. People who've driven that route already can give you help and advice, and people are looking to do that route in the future.
Okay, since we're going all that way, we are doing some detours, aren't we?
We are.
We're going to Branson, Missouri.
Okay. Why are we going to Branson, Missouri?
It's really funny because on the Facebook groups, all the Americans are going, why are you going to Branson, Missouri? Because you don't understand, coming from the UK, that culture is so different to what we've got in the UK. It's the same as when Americans come across here and they're amazed by the church down the road, which is 800 years, or the pubs, and we take it for granted. But it's the same, Branson, Missouri.
So if you don't know anything about it, it's been described as a cross between International Drive and Blackpool.
Yeah.
So think of a big entertainment town with lots of shows.
Homely,
Yeah, family shows.
It was described, the best description was from The Simpsons, when it was described as Las Vegas if it was run by Flanders.
Yeah, so basically the shows from 10 o'clock in the morning, night, family friendly shows, a lot of them are, acrobats, country singers, variety shows.
It's that sort of thing. So we're just going to soak up some real Americana and, some
cheesiness.
Americans on holiday in their own country.
And us as well.
Like, we've been to America a few times, but we've been to, like, the East Coast and the West Coast. We haven't been to this central part. So what else are we doing? We're going to Grand Canyon. Yes. We have to go to the Grand Canyon.
We've been to Grand Canyon before, only briefly.
Sedona. Looks pretty. Yeah, we're going to Lake Havasu.
Lake Havasu.
Again, these are only short detours off Route 66. Lake Havasu is where they've got London Bridge. The original London Bridge that they took apart brick by brick and shipped it across
to America.
Yeah, so we're going to see London Bridge in Lake Havasu. We're going to Las Vegas.
Of course.
We can't drive past Las Vegas.
First time we went to Las Vegas, we thought, would we go back? Second time, we wanted to go back straight away. It's the sort of place that grows in you, and you don't have to be into gambling, even though we like a little bit on slot machines and things. You don't have to be into gambling. It's got amazing restaurants. It's got fabulous entertainment.
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
But one thing we have noticed,
it's like Disneyland for adults.
Since the first time we went, how expensive it's getting.
Yes.
One thing you watch, they advertise these hotel rates. They seem really good, and they stick on a resort fee. And now they're charging for parking on top of that. I hate resort fees. Because it's an American thing.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be showing a price that you don't pay. The price should be the price of everything. It's like buying a chair and somebody's going to, our legs are extra.
Yeah.
It's not a chair without the legs. It's the same as going to Las Vegas. If you have to pay it, then it's not an extra, is it? It should be the price.
Calm down now. So we're staying in the Flamingo Hotel because we thought that fitted in with
one of the older
retro hotels. It's a really good spot, centre strip. The room's really cheap. It's like $40 a night. Then you put the taxes on, and then you put on the resort fee, and then you put on the fee for parking, and it pumps it up almost double the price.
Yeah, that leads us on. We're staying there for a few days, and because we're not going to be using the car, and you have to pay for parking, we are dumping one car there.
Yeah.
having a few days in Las Vegas, then renting another car to go onward to California.
And we're doing that with Hertz, aren't we?
Yeah, the second part. Avis first part, Hertz the second part. Only we chose Hertz because it was more convenient. There was a rental place in where the hotel we're staying.
And it was a good rate as well.
So where else are we going? Las Vegas, Sedona. And that's it, isn't it? That's all the side trips.
The side trips, okay.
Yeah. So basically, this is our schedule. Flying to Chicago, and we're spending 1 full day in Chicago. People say spend more time in Chicago, but the reason we're not doing that is because the middle places so many places to see, and the middle places we probably won't be going back there again.
But we easily could go back to Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's on an international flight from London, so if we do like Chicago, it's easy to get there again. Whereas these places in the middle of Missouri and stuff, we can't get there.
So in Chicago, we're doing architecture tour on a boat, which I found a good rate on Groupon.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to win a competition online and with Tiki Chris. Thanks, Tiki Chris.
Getting back to the planning stage, though, that leads us on to the planning with the time of year. Mm-hmm. People say don't plan and just go and discover things. That's okay if you're going out of season, but we're going peak period. And if you want to stay in one of the historic motels, they're going to be booked up. So you could spend some time booking some of the historic motels and places you definitely want to go to.
Yeah.
Then maybe a bit in between, see how you feel.
Okay.
But if you want to stay somewhere or want to do something historic, during the summer months, I would say book it just to make sure.
So remember I said, don't talk over me, let me finish what I say. You cut me off then when I'm talking about the city pass.
I know, but the city pass isn't really planning. We're just lucky to have that.
Yeah, well, I'm just explaining what it involved, but Marcus has to butt in. But there we are. This is going to be great.
We're going to spend 24 days together. Oh my God, we've already been doing this for 20 minutes. Okay. Should we go through what we're doing on the days? So day 1 and day 2, Chicago. Day 3, we're in Springfield. That's where Abraham Lincoln used to live.
So what we're doing in Springfield?
Seen Abraham Lincoln stuff.
Okay.
Day 4, Cuba.
Cuba, Missouri.
Yeah. Day 5 and 6, we're in Branson. Day 7, Carthage, Missouri. Day 8, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Day 9, Clinton, Oklahoma. Day 10, Tucumcari, New Mexico. So we're sort of going straight across Texas there. Tucumcari, I was watching that Netflix series, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, that came up there. Yeah. Then we've got 2 days in Santa Fe, that looks interesting. Then Winslow, Arizona. Sorry. What song was that?
That was Take It Easy.
Oh, was it?
That was Take It Easy by the Beatles.
Beatles?
The Eagles. Okay.
That was Take It Easy by the Eagles. Then Sedona. Then we're in day 15, 16.
Williams, Arizona.
We're in Williams, Arizona. Named after...
You?
It'd be called Q. It'd be called something else. Then day 17, Lake Havasu. Then 18, 19, 20, and 21, Las Vegas. Yeah. So then from Las Vegas, we're going straight across to LA through Barstow, and we've been to this area before, so that's why we're not spending too much time on the Californian leg. So that's basically the schedule, and then on the 24th day we fly back from LA.
What are the quirky things to see along the way, Marcus?
Quirky things.
What are the interesting, strange things to see?
Of course, the Muffler Men.
What are the Muffler Men?
The Muffler Men.
They got a good name.
Yeah, I think they were designed to advertise mufflers, which are exhausts. So if you look, they're holding their hands like that, where they used to have probably an exhaust pipe. And now they've been repurposed, holding hot dogs and dressed up as spacemen and stuff like that. Okay.
So they're big, what are they? Big statues at the side of the road?
Yeah. Okay. So they used to be used to attract people.
And what's the most famous one? The Gemini Giant?
The Gemini Giant.
Gemini Giant's the famous muffler man.
Yeah.
And then, of course, America is known for the large roadside statue. So besides the muffler man, there's the largest rocking chair in the world.
That's not the largest.
But now it's the second largest.
The second largest. It's been gazumped by another rocking chair.
Then there's the blue whale in Catoosa, which is, as you expect, a blue whale, a large blue whale made out of...
Didn't he make it for his wife or something?
Yeah, I think so. Like an anniversary present.
Yeah.
I would like some diamonds, not a blue whale.
Yeah.
And then...
There's the
Quirky Museum.
The Bottle Tree Ranch.
The Bottle Tree Ranch. Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch. Which is this quite eccentric man who's basically
put bottles on trees.
Put bottles on trees. There's the Cadillac Ranch. Which is like an art sort of installation in the middle of the desert where there's a lot of Cadillacs, and basically people are encouraged to sort of graffiti them with the spray cans. And
there's Winslow where they've got they play that song constantly apparently.
In Winslow, Arizona, they play Take Easy by the Eagles, and they've got statues to the Eagles there.
I was listening to somebody about that. They were asking the people that listen to that song all the time. They go, what do you think about that being played?
They've got flatbed Ford there as well.
But they did say, if it wasn't for that song, people would probably drive past, wouldn't they? They probably...
Can you imagine being
made
in
the
a
town
shop
famous.
There? Yeah. What else is there?
There's Oatman.
Oh, Oatman.
Where all these wild donkeys roam the streets.
Yeah, called burrows. And then there's Williams, which looks really cool. That's the gateway of the Grand Canyon, they say. And it's like an old Wild West sort of town, themed town. They have a shootout there, don't they? Yeah.
I don't know in America. Is that how do I know when they're acting and not acting?
And I tell you what I really want to do is Santa Fe sounds really cool. I know it's like a upmarket version of a town in New Mexico. However, there's a lot of art there, and there's an installation called the big sort of like museum called Meow Wolf.
Yeah, Meow Wolf.
Which
it's
bizarre, really weird and strange.
Bizarre sensory
immersive art installation.
Yeah. Just look it up on YouTube, Meow Wolf.
Who's got a good video on that?
The Carpetbagger.
The Carpetbagger's got a really good video on Meow Wolf.
Yeah.
Really odd, really strange, and we love modern art, so that'll be really cool. And of course, we're going to Vegas, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we've got plans in Vegas. What are you doing in Vegas, Marcus?
Read a good book.
We'll be in bed by 9 o'clock every night, and that's probably we will be.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that'll be true.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to some of the old bridges and just some of the rundown signs and the old garages.
Right, okay. Marcus looking forward to that more than me.
Now, the food part.
Okay.
This is Mel's favourite part.
Is it my favourite part? I don't plan the food along the way. Well, some of it.
Yeah, planning the food. You obviously don't plan where you're going to eat. But you do some.
I do.
I mean, the times you're going to eat, but you plan the places you wouldn't mind stopping at.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them.
So, what are the classic places you got on your?
Well, in Chicago's famous for its deep pan pizza. So you want to go somewhere to have that, or the start of Route 66. The famous place is Lou Mitchell's.
Yeah.
Lou Mitchell's Diner.
There's one place with Lucky J Steakhouse in Carthage.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Apparently you can watch a rodeo when you tuck into
to your steak and your burgers. Yeah.
So then there's obviously the big Texan steak ranch in Amarillo
with the 72-ounce steak. Now I say all this steak. Marcus doesn't really eat red.
Yeah, don't eat red.
And I'm not going to be eating a 72-ounce steak, but I think you have to go and see these places.
There's the Midpoint Cafe
in Texas. Is that the place with the ugly crust pies? Famous for the ugly crust pies? I think so. Don't know. And then the Roadkill Cafe in Seligman. Now, do they really use?
Is it Seligman or Seligman? These are the sort of things we're going to find out on the way.
But do they really use roadkill? I don't know. I think it might be a bit of a marketing.
Yeah, I don't think it's like something with all maggots in.
And obviously, like you're having your diners, you're having your steakhouses, but you also want a nice meal now and again, don't you?
Yeah.
You know. So we're staying in Winslow, Arizona, in a place called La Posada, and they've got a place called the Turquoise Room, which is supposed to have really lovely food. So this is like one of our splurges for the meals along the way. Also, I think in Vegas we're hoping to go to a nice restaurant or two. We were looking at the Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. We're not sure now if we're going to go there or not. We'll see what we'll do in Vegas as well.
Okay, so that's it. But like we mentioned earlier, you're going to gain weight.
I think you're going to gain weight.
So we're trying to exercise before we go and just enjoy ourselves.
I think a point as well. If you're vegetarian, you're probably okay. If you're vegan, you probably will need to look at your options closely, where to eat along the Route 66, because I'm not sure if it's catered for people with special
needs.
Special dietary requirements.
I think it's getting better. I think it's everywhere. It's getting better.
Obviously, big cities will be fine. LA, amazing for vegetarians and vegans, but perhaps not so much the small towns. So if you're budgeting, we're trying to do this on a strict budget, and we've allowed between $60 and $100 a day for the accommodation. Now, that's not a problem in historic motels, but when you get to LA, it's virtually impossible. And so...
Well, it is impossible.
It is impossible in LA, and Chicago's quite hard as well. So we're staying in Chicago, we're staying in the airport and going in a nice hotel in the Lowe's, but it's a fraction of the price of the Lowe's in the centre of Chicago. We're going to keep the price down on alcohol by probably getting a bottle in the local liquor store.
And try not to drink so much.
And try not to drink so much and bringing it back, because a lot of the rooms in America will have a little fridge.
Yeah. Lots of them have fridges, which they don't in the UK.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as well as Las Vegas, Chicago, and LA being expensive, the pound has dropped dramatically, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Las Vegas is quite cheap to stay, but not to eat and drink anymore.
So basically, that's what we've got up to so far. The accommodation sorted. So, like I said, some classic motels.
And then
where we say what's one of the classic ones? Boots Court.
Yeah, Boots Court Motel. Really lovely classic motel. We're staying in the Clark Gable room. So I don't know, Clark Gable stay there?
Yeah, apparently in the 40s he stayed there.
There we go. And we're staying in Motel Safari in
Tucumcari.
Tucumcari.
Apparently it's like middle of nowhere, isn't it? But a lot of people have moved back to the town and done up the classic motels
in like really a
modern retro style. So it's still got that 1950s sort of.
And it's super cheap. It's like £60 a night, but it's a really nice motel.
So we're looking forward to trying some of those.
And then we've got a combination of chain hotels as well. That I've booked them because
they're cheap.
They're reasonable price, or they were the best option in that area at the time. And then we've got a couple of luxury hotels. Yeah. So basically La Posada in Winslow. I think we've got a couple of other ones like the Lodge of the Ozarks in Branson, Missouri, that are not really expensive, but sort of mid-price.
And in Santa Fe.
We're staying.
La Posada in Santa Fe, but we're staying in the Governors.
In the Governors of Santa Fe. So they're the slightly more
so you can mix and
hotels.
match between nice luxury hotels and classic motels, But it's easy to check now. Years ago, you didn't know where you were staying. You don't want to be staying in like the murder hotel. When you go in, you see a blood stain on the floor, and a white outline. So we want to avoid those places. And
because as well, the Flamingo in Vegas is so cheap, even we've got the resort fees, it's all coming up roughly about averaging out £100 a night on accommodation. So we've got some good deals there. And also, I'm a member of the Hilton's Honours and also the IHG Rewards points. So we've got a couple of hotels at really good rates, or basically free, because we've had points on those hotel reward systems.
So anyway, that's basically where we're at the moment. So we are going to be doing, like, again, we mentioned earlier, short vlogs from the road, as well as an overall vlog at the end of it.
So if there's any place that you particularly want
or any
to
questions,
see, or any questions,
we'll find out for you.
So put the question below and let us know if you've got any questions about the route at all, or about the cities, about the motels, anything you want to know about the route, and we'll try and find out for you, and we're trying to experience some of those things as well.
I just think it's going to be hot.
And it'll be annoying.
The temperature is going to be hot. Yeah. One thing that's annoying already is
you. I won't be able to get away from you for 23 days, 24 days.
You will.
Oh God. No, I don't think so.
It's the music in the car.
Oh. So Marcus has written a Route 66 road trip.
Yeah, on our blog.
A Route 66 music.
Well, I'm doing a few on Spotify, a few playlists.
But of course, he hasn't consulted me, so I'm going to be listening to this over 24 days. But he has not brought into the equation any of my choice of music or whatsoever.
Crap.
So
I'm doing a few playlists. I've got a starting one, 66 for 66. So when we're leaving Chicago to get us in the mood, I'll be doing a country playlist. I'm doing an electronic playlist. So
wait a minute, do you think an electronic
an easy listening playlist
is right for Route 66?
Well, you don't have to have... That's because you're in America or in this Arizona, but you don't have to have cowboy music to go with the thing.
I want cowboy music.
If you think of classic soundtracks from films, they don't necessarily go, they fit in with the mood. They don't have to be cowboy music and cowboy country.
So the electronic music is going to fit in with the mood, is it?
But they do. What?
Anyway.
Tangerine Dream was used in lots of films.
So if we're not divorced by the end of it, I'll be amazed.
Yeah, anyway, that's it. Don't forget to... don't forget to what? I forgot.
Don't forget to...
do all the...
Let's go.
Do all the YouTube stuff. You know what to do. You know where the subscribe button and all that nonsense is. Why do you have to tell you all that? But see how we get on.
Yeah, and see how we get on.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll be doing all the usual palaver with social media. Well, Mel, I can't be bothered with that.
So I think our plan each day is basically showing you where we're going that day, the accommodation, what we're eating, what we're seeing. Any
issues or anything good. And that's it.
There we go.
Thank you again.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. Are you going to round off now with another rendition of Route 66?
Why don't you do some electronic dance so we can round it off with that?
No, I think we'll stop now. Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
You.